Hey everybody, today you're going to be using Google Draw to create a form of a pumpkin. We're going to be using forms which are 3D shapes rather than just shapes which are flat. So what you're going to do is you're going to open up a new tab and you're going to go to your Google Drive. You can get there a couple of different ways. You might have it here or you might need to go up to the top and click on Drive. You want to, let's see here, you want to click on New, and we're going to click More, and Google Drawings is where you're going to go. I'm going to go through the directions to this a little bit fast, so if you ever need to pause the video, you can pause the video so you have time to do each step. So first, I am going to rename my image. You can rename it whatever you want. I'm going to add pumpkin drawing. And so when we're doing a pumpkin, you think about circles and ovals, and it's a round shape. So I'm going to start by adding a shape and a round shape. I'm going to draw that here. Let's turn this off. All right, so I did my round shape. Now I need to change the color of that. So I'm going to go to Fill Color, and I want to go to Gradient, because if we do a solid color, it's going to look like a flat shape. If we do a gradient, it will look more like a form. So they have some that are made up for you already. I'm going to use a custom, so I'm going to click on this little addition. And here is where I get to pick my two colors. I go from light to dark. Linear means it goes from light to the top to dark at the bottom, or you can do radial, which means it's light in the center and dark on the edges. And we've talked about radial lines before and things that radiate. So this lighter color, I'm going to change to orange for my pumpkin. And I don't want this to be gray, so I'm going to change that to, you could change it to darker orange. You could change it to brown. You could change it to green, maybe if you wanted a green pumpkin, red. You could really change it to whatever color you want. So this is going to be the fill of my shape. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to copy and paste this a couple of times. So copy, paste, and move that to the side, paste, move this to the side. So now I have 3 circles, 3 ovals. Now, if you remember from the previous lesson, when we drew our pumpkins, let's look here. So we had the oval in the middle, and then 1, 2 on each side, 1, 2. So here we'll go and add 2 more, copy and paste. And that little red line that shows up, that just shows you that they're all even. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this one that's in the center, and we're going to change the order. We're going to make it be in the front. So I'm going to go to Order, Bring to Front. Same with, then these end ones I want to be in the back. So I'm going to Order, Send to Back. Order, Send to Back. Now I have the shape of my pumpkin. What I need to add next is the stem. So I'm going to do line. Now I want to do a curved line so it looks like a stem. Usually a stem is a little bit curved. So what happens is every time you click, it's going to curve your line. So I'm gonna Take it all the way here. And I'm going to bring it back so it attaches and it will create a shape. Now I need to do the same thing there, is I need to fill it. I don't want to do a solid color because it will look flat. So I want to do a gradient. And same here, I'm going to do custom because I want it to be kind of brown and green. So I'm going to do some green and some brown. And there is my stem. Now, I tried to go over here to move it around, but I still have that line, and I don't want to make more lines. So I need to go up here and click on this arrow, and that'll get rid of that poly line. Or the curved line, I'm sorry. Next, we're going to use the polyline. And this is how you're going to make some shapes for your face. So you can either, the polyline makes turns when you click instead of curves. So you could make shapes like that for your face, or you could have pre-made shapes. So if you wanted to do some triangles for the eyes, I'm going to copy and paste that. Actually, I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to change the color here first, and then copy and paste. I'm going to use one of these preset colors here. Copy and paste. Copy and paste. I'm going to flip this one around and make it a little bit smaller for the nose. And then I'm going to use that poly line for the mouth. And fill that. Oh, remember I got to get rid of that polyline, so I go and click this arrow. I'm going to move the whole face up a little bit. Have some more room. Now, we're going to add another step to make these face shapes look a little bit more 3D. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this polyline, and I'm going to add the same kinds of shadows that we did in our drawing. And I'm going to make those black. There we go. So there's one. I'm going to add it to the second shape. All right, so once you are done, what you want to do is you want to save this file. And so there are a couple of different ways that you can save it. So you can download it as a PDF, but that's not really how we want to save it. We want to save it as a picture. So I'm going to either save it as a JPEG. With a JPEG, the background will be white. But if you save it as a PNG, all of these areas that are a little bit checkerboard, those will be see-through. So it will almost be like a sticker. So that's what I want to save it as a JPEG, and there it's saved right to my computer.